can take away everything that I ever worked for. I'ma keep on pushing till I earn more. I won't ever fall, won't ever break, won't ever crack, won't ever lick, won't ever stop, won't ever let, won't ever call it quits, call it quits.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Boris. I'm here with my co-host Yuri.
Hey guys, been a minute since we filmed. Today I wanna talk about living in the present and the future, and not living on the past. Very oftentimes, people get the high school quarterback syndrome, where they were a hot shot in high school, or had some glory days back in the past. And that's what they tell people at parties. That's how they
For the rest of their lives, huh?
live their lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they basically peaked back in high school, or whatever. And they're that's what they live for every day. Or the opposite of like what I think unfortunately our grandparents do. They think that their life's over and they're not working on doing anything daily or looking towards the future, but just be like, hey, I already lived my life.
Yeah.
Went through all these troubles, went through all this
It's
heartache,
over.
and
Yeah.
now what's called, I think I'll just chill and just look back at the
Glory
bad
days.
days, or good days of the past.
Yeah. No,
It's not healthy to do.
100%. So today's podcast is called Moving Forward, and the reason it's called Moving Forward is because we as people need to move forward daily. Whether we like it or not, we can't keep reflecting on the past or our mistakes or even our glory days, we just like reflect back on the good things and bad things, and it kind of like pivots us because we can't move forward as much. So that's one of the things we wanted to talk about, just because like Yuri said, the people that peak in high school or peak at something, and our way of thinking is there's always more to accomplish, there's always more to get out there. So it's just it's a different kind of thinking.
Yeah, but it's not just the good parts. Like some people either have a past or have done things that they regret, and then they let that weigh them down or let that control their destiny. And they're like, hey, I'm not good enough for this. I can't achieve this, and then they just let they let the past or their past mistakes or bad decisions affect their current life as well. Like that's not healthy either.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean that's one thing we try to focus on. A common phrase we always say in this office is 1% better every day. And in order for us to be 1% better every day, we have to live in the present and maximize on the present every single day, rather than looking back at yesterday's flaws or mistakes or whatever. Because like in business and in life, we as humans, it's human nature. We tend to mess up a lot. And it just depends on how you look at it. Do you learn and grow from it, or do you just dwell on the past and let it eat you alive? And that just causes no benefit to you. I mean,
yeah, the past is a good thing to look back at as a learning experience, or things to take lessons from and adapt and change the way we do things currently. But it shouldn't be something that defines us or has any control over us.
No, absolutely. Yeah, definitely something that doesn't define us as human beings. I mean, what's done in the past is you live with it, you learn from it, and you move forward and become a better man and better woman every single day. So you definitely can't let that hold you back.
Yeah. Andy Frisella had a good story about that. He said that he went to, I think, either his high school get together or something from like the past. And his friends or people that he knew, that he saw 5-10 years ago, came up to him and been like, man, you've changed so much, you're like so different than you were.
Yeah.
And he got offended at first, but then he thought through it, and he's like that's actually a good thing. We should be changing, we should be being different, we should be becoming better versions of ourselves every time. If somebody came up to him and said that he hadn't changed, that's when he should have gotten offended, because that's the true fault is if we're living life and not changing and not becoming better every day.
No, absolutely. But getting better every day also means that we're hitting every single sphere in our lives, like we mentioned earlier, just health and just every other aspect of growing. Just 'cause people tend to think growing as in oh, your bank account's growing, and that's in your career wise you're growing, and that's the only thing that matters. I think that we as people tend to forget that we're here for a long time and a good time, and we need to focus on every single aspect: our spiritual relationship, our health, our relationships, or just all these different aspects of things that we need to just continually improve on and learn from, and get better every single day as well.
Yeah, it's a good analogy that I heard somewhere is living in your past is like driving in your car and just looking at your rear view mirror. You know, like if you drive like that, you'll crash eventually because you can't see what's in front of you, and you can't plan for it. So it's definitely something good to glance back at and remember and fix anything that needs fixing. But it's not. It's always good to move forward and live in the day.
No, for sure. Yeah. Well, something I feel like we tend to forget is tomorrow's not promised, and yesterday all we could do is learn from it. So all we have is the present. Like we got to make the most out of everything that's in front of us today, not next week or whatever. I mean, we just have today. Like we don't people's perspective would change rapidly if they're like, okay, tomorrow's not promised, and I got to live by that.
My mindset was changed when I think I read it in a book. It said that there's no need to ever be stressed or worried because every scenario, every life situation falls into one of two categories: things you can control and things you can't control. And if it's something you can't control, there's no point in stressing about it because there's nothing you can do about it anyways. But if you can control it, then there's no point in stressing as well because there's things you can do and actions you can take to go out and change it. So the past is part of something that we can't control, like as much as we want to either change things or, remember the good old days, we can't relive it, and we can't change anything that's happened in the past. So no point in, dwelling on it and letting that consume us.
Yeah. No, it's tough to do. It's tough to do in this world. But I think we all forget. I think that in this world we all forget what being present is like. That's something I'm starting to, well, not just starting, but working on every day. But being present is like just being there and not like actually there. Like if I'm with my wife or I'm with you or whatever, if I'm like actually like working and being present, like I can't be thinking about my plans in 2-3 hours. I can't be thinking about my goals, whatever, next week or so. And this stuff like consumes us. Like my mind, the way it works is just like every like 3 seconds I get this idea, I write it down, I do this and this, I get a text, and like we're all over this place. But like it is the hardest thing to be present for us, especially like for business owners and people in any space of self-employment. So it's like just focusing on that.
There's I'm always amazed when people at either concerts or other live events
record the whole thing,
just view it through their phones. Like what good does that do?
Yeah, they don't take it in.
Why not just live in the present? Experience it and recall those memories. I think the best day I had on my vacation and my honeymoon was when we went on a day with what's called no phones. Just totally disconnected from anything, and just being there with my wife and just living in the moment and enjoying it. So I think living in the present and taking in every day, every second that God's given us is something valuable that I myself try to do more of. It's tough sometimes, but definitely something needed.
Yeah, no, it really is. And like as we have more and more technology and all this stuff, like we have in my Tesla, I have a display that notifies me every time I get a text. In everyone's cars, they have like a text or call, whatever that comes in. Like it's so hard to be present in this new age where like everything's so social media based. Like everything everything is so like, it notifies you. You get a ring for every single thing. Like, dude, I get a notification if someone clicks on my doorbell. I get a notification if a contract is accepted. I get a notification if this, like, that stuff will eat you alive.
Yeah.
And it's harder to remember, like, dude, put your phone down and be with the ones you love, and put your phone down and like, and prioritize, and like, and just be there. Just be
That's
there.
like the 4 quadrants, you know. It's just because it's urgent doesn't mean that it's important to tend to do. And you know, sometimes a phone call can wait, sometimes text can wait, but being in the present is what matters.
No, for sure. And I think the reality is we set that standard, and we set that limit in our lives of how present we want to be. Just because we have the control. Like, for instance, every morning for the first 2 hours of the day, I don't check my phone. When I do check my phone, like, for instance, like if I check my phone like first thing in the morning, it's a whole different day. Like, I'm automatically super reactive because I see a ton of notifications, a ton of emails, a ton of work stuff, a ton of missed calls, and I'm just like, damn, dude, I'm like straight up reactive. But like when I like first 2 hours of the day, it's just me and my wife and me and my morning routine, and then in the evening time, once I'm done, I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, if a new client comes in, they can wait till tomorrow. If this happens, if my offer gets accepted, they can wait till tomorrow. If something meeting is scheduled, it can wait till tomorrow. And that's the way we have to look at it. We have to set these standards for our lives.
Yeah.
How are you guys? Would you guys say you are retrospective in some ways, or in some areas of life?
Yeah.
Or sometimes.
You have to acknowledge the past and look back at it to not make the same mistakes or learn from it and get better. You know, you can't just knock out the past totally. It's good to look back and, you know, make decisions, and, you know, obviously our worldview and our view on things in life is based on our past experiences and either failures or successes.
So when does that become dangerous, though, or like destructive, I guess?
When it eats you alive. So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
it's
When it
something,
consumes you.
yeah, when it consumes you and doesn't let you be present in your day-to-day world. So if it's something that already happened years ago, or whatever month, it could be yesterday. It already happened, but you took it away. You actually analyzed what went down and what happened, and you're like, okay, I took this and this and this away from it, and I'm not letting that thing happen again. I feel like that's truly.
I think it becomes destructive when you're not able to move on, when you're not able to learn from it and analyze what you did right and wrong. But you just dwell on it all the time and, you know, regret it, and, you know, you're not able to forgive yourself or move past it. But you're just constantly like agitated about it, because if you're not able to move on from it, then you start living in the past and you start letting that dictate your future.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Which is definitely a dangerous spot to be in.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, you going back to the forgiveness thing, like, the thing is, like, dude, we do so much in the past, and so much that we acknowledge, and we're like, okay, damn, I should have done that better. I should have done that better. Or like, I really messed up here, or whatever it is. The forgiveness aspect of it is huge, because, like, dude, how do you move on from something if you can't forgive yourself or forgive others? And there's no like healing. There's no, like, you can't move on from that past experience without forgiveness. And there's just that negative and dwelling, just all these emotions and stuff like that get so like stuck with that event, when there's no forgiveness, and you can't like truly move on from it. So it does no good for anyone.
It's also good to see it, because as much as we'd all like our lives to be perfect and, you know, not have any past or not have any things in our past, the thing is, life is hills and valleys, and if we didn't have the valleys, we wouldn't appreciate the hills, and if we didn't have the lows, you know, then we wouldn't appreciate the highs.
Absolutely.
Without having the lows. You know, if everything was going good and dandy, we, you know, that'd be the standard for us, and we'd get used to it and not appreciate it as much, like, you know, like with our cars, or, you know, our houses, or, you know, like our wives. You know, if when we just got it, when things just started, it was a lot easier to be appreciative and thankful, and, you know, realize how good we have it. But unless you get that that taken away,
Yeah.
or have to go through tough times, then you really start to appreciate it. Like my kid was had to take my baby to the hospital for a day, and like I didn't appreciate being at home and like living a normal life as much as I do now, because like only thing my wife and I wanted to do at the hospital was go home and not be there anymore, and until like that was the only thing we thought about. And then when we finally got home, we're like, dang, it's so nice to be home.
Yeah.
But when you're home all the time, you don't appreciate it.
No, 100%, dude.
So
there's one thing that I will never ever forget. I remember I went to Haiti a couple years ago, and the one thing I'll never forget is, so dude, for like 2 weeks there, you like showered like under a bucket. Like we'd get like water from a stream, and just like it was nasty. It was gross. In Haiti, we were just like working construction 12, 13 hours a day. But the one thing, and so what I had taken away from me was a solid bed and a hot shower, like a clean water shower. And like, I remember that I got home after 2 weeks, and it was like midnight, and I got home, and I took a hot shower, and like standing in that shower, I felt like all my worries just gone. I was like, man, this is like this right here, such a simple concept in America, is like the biggest thing I'm grateful for in the last couple weeks, And yeah, I mean, when something gets stripped away from you, just like, it's when you really appreciate it.
Yeah, what do you guys say to those that have like a defeatist mindset? You know what defeatist mindset is?
Yeah, but elaborate though.
Yeah, pretty much just defeatist mindset just means like having a negative mindset, pretty much thinking that you're going to fail before you even start.
That's one of the scariest things, dude. So like, that's the thing though. Fear keeps most people away than failure does. So that's the thing you have to remember. That fear is such a, yeah, dude. It's just there, and you have to overcome it by actually putting your foot down and actually moving forward. And I truly believe that like the fear of doing something is a whole lot worse than it is doing the actual thing and starting that thing and slowly moving forward every single day. So
yeah.
It's just,
I was listening to a podcast yesterday with the number one chess player in the world, and he said that that taking risk is dangerous, but not taking a risk is even more dangerous, and it's very true. It's the defeatist mindset, Stephen, we're talking about is people that always see the negative in things, and people that always think worst case scenario, and you're not going to be able to be successful in business or in life or take any risk in anything, because there's always things that can go wrong, and you're never going to know everything. That you can't always count for everything, or see the good or the bad in anything until you actually start.
Yeah.
And if you're already thinking about worst case scenario, then you'll never start, and then that's the biggest thing. Like just starting and actually doing something, even if you fail, is a lot better than not doing it at all, because of the possibility to fail. If the issue with the defeatist mindset is if you think worst case scenario and don't start, you failed already. Like what's called Jordan said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Absolutely. Or Gretzky said that. I forget who said it, but anyways, like if you don't shoot the basketball, the chances of you making it are zero. If you do shoot it, maybe it's 1%. Maybe it's 50%, but there you still have that chance.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's what we break it down by statistics. I mean, like if you don't try, there's a 0% chance, like you said.
Yeah, but you Yuri, right? Like you always pride yourself in thinking logically and trying to think of every scenario and everything through, right? How do you overcome that and actually take that first step towards risk?
I mean, yeah, it's a good question. It's the reason I try to think logically and think through things before jumping into them is to try to mitigate the risk as much as I can. Risk is always going to be a factor, and and there's always things that even if for sure things are going to happen, like even if you plan things out, things don't go to plan. Like Boris had his house planned out, and things aren't going to plan.
I was going to say about Boris.
Yeah.
So. You on the other hand, right? I take example from you because you're never what could have been. You're always like what could be.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you don't really care about the past at all.
Well, the thing is, dude, like I find a way to figure it out, regardless. And like, dude, I think there's a whole lot more potential and possibility and success and everything in what could have been or what could be rather than what could have been or what I could lose. And dude, it's just not like I always break it down. Like, dude, I'm 23 years old. I'm married and I have no kids. Like, this is the time for me to take all the risks. This is the time for me to literally go ham, fail at 100 things, succeed in one, and retire.
Yeah.
You know,
as it took Albert Einstein, I think 10,000 tries to figure out
All you need is one.
how to
Yeah.
make light bulb, and
Yeah.
every single time he failed, he said, hey, I just found one more way that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep going at it, and yeah, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you don't see the results or the fruit of your labor right away, but doesn't mean you got to give up.
yeah.
So,
But like, dude, what you're saying with that, like going all in and like, dude, that it's just like that's just my mentality. I like to look at the risks and what could happen, but the reality is, dude, like it could go way better. It can go way worse. Like someone else's like when someone else does it, like I can't follow those exact expectations or have those exact expectations because like, dude, nothing ever works out. Like for instance, like with my house, I had this 3-month time frame. Everything's supposed to be closed. Everything's supposed to be done. Not a single thing went planned. Every contractor did this and this. Everything was more expensive. All materials were a lot more expensive. Everything went to crap. And the reality is, like, dude, you just figure it out and keep moving forward, like. And now I have a house that's done. And yeah, it was a little bit more stressful than it should have been, but dude, it's done. Like I learned a crap ton, and
that's why we make good business partners, because I tell everyone that you're the gas, I'm the brakes. Like Steven said, you just go all in and jump into it without really thinking too much. And
Yeah.
I like to analyze and think through things before doing it.
yeah.
But the thing is, we're always still constantly moving forward.
Yeah.
Like even though you're the gas and I'm the brakes, that doesn't mean that we're stopped fully.
We're never stopped. Yeah.
So
No, 100.
still-
No, 100%.
we're still pushing forward. It's just at a slower pace than you would like, and at a faster pace than what's called I'd like. But it's
Yeah.
fine. Works out good.
Yeah. No, the reality is with the all in mentality is like, dude, you're gonna figure it out, and then you're gonna learn one way not to do it or one way to do it, and it's just like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, what is the worst that can happen? And I don't know, dude. Like, I will never let like a doubt stop me from something. Like, if I'm like scared of something, I just do it, and like. I don't know. That's in business and in life. Like if something terrifies me, then I know I have to do it. And if it doesn't make sense,
Yeah,
it'll get figured out.
But thing is, when you're on your deathbed, there won't be anything that you regret.
No, that's the thing.
Like
Yeah.
the majority of people probably
Yeah.
on their deathbeds are like, oh, I wish I would have done this.
Yeah.
I
Well,
should have taken more risk. That kind of stuff.
Well, that's my goal, dude. That's my goal. Like even if I died today, like for instance, like knock on wood, but if I die, whatever, like I'm 100% content with my life. Like I know that I've given it 110% regardless. Like in business and life and my marriage and every single aspect of my life, I've actually given 110%, and I'm truly content with it. And yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff I've like had to go through, and a lot of hardship and a lot of stuff to get to that point. But like, dude, like I'm content with it. There's not a single thing like that. That's just the way I want to keep living my life. And like that's what I want to teach my kids, and like everyone around me is like, dude, just go all in. What's the worst? Like I'm not missing out on anything, Like I don't know, man. The stuff that scares me, like for instance, like scuba diving scares the hell out of me. I had to go do it with my wife this year, dude. Never again. But like I did it. Like now I'm just like, okay, now I know. Like I'm actually don't like it. I did it and I don't like it. Like it now I know. But like if I was scared all my life, it's just going off of other people's stories. What good is that? So yeah.
Well, anyways, good question, Steve. This podcast went a bit longer than both of us thought, but hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you guys did, please like it, share it.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it.
Tell us your questions, give us your feedback. But besides that, see you guys on the next one.
See you guys on the next one.
You can take away everything that I ever worked for. I'ma keep on pushing till